This is the AI News Flash for August 26th, 6 a.m. UTC. First up, Chinese AI startup DeepSeek is nearing completion of a new funding round. The South China Morning Post reports, citing people familiar with the matter. The round values the company at roughly 500 billion yuan, or about $74 billion before the investment. The company was seeking to raise about 50 billion yuan, with the round expected to close before the end of August. Existing backers taking part include local venture funds Monolith and Shixiang Capital, along with battery giant Contemporary AmperX technology known as KATL. New investors said to be in talks include CPE, Legend Capital, and Stony Creek Capital, a semiconductor-focused private equity firm historically linked to Zhu Yiming, chairman of DRAM maker Chengxin Memory Technologies, and founder of memory chip designer GigaDevice. Funds backed by GigaDevice and by Hefei state investment vehicles are also said to be involved. Hangzhou-based DeepSeek has already begun preparing for a listing on Shanghai's Star Market, China's Nasdaq-style board. Sources say the company could file as early as the end of this year, eyeing a public debut in 2027. The firm that rewrote the global AI map with open-weight models is now heading for the judgment of public markets. Second, Indian AI infrastructure platform AM Intelligence has placed a binding order for approximately 9,000 Nvidia Rubin GPUs. The company was established by the promoters of renewable energy group Granite. The chips are destined for the company's first AI factory in Hyderabad, with delivery scheduled for the first quarter of 2027. It marks one of the first large-scale deployments of the Vera Rubin architecture anywhere in Asia. The facility represents an initial 200 megawatts of capacity, with capital expenditure exceeding $8 billion. The Vera Rubin NVL72 architecture uses NVFP4, a new low-precision computing format, alongside next-generation high-bandwidth memory HBM4. The site is engineered to deliver roughly 450 exaflops of NVFP4 inference compute, sized for trillion-parameter models and next-generation agentic AI. Chairman Anil Shalamalasetti said the company's focus has evolved from turning electrons into value to converting power infrastructure into frontier AI compute at scale. ME plans 1 gigawatt of compute as a service capacity across India, the United States, Finland, and Malaysia, and 5 gigawatts of AI data center capacity in total. Third, Anthropic has launched a $5 million grant program supporting independent research into how artificial intelligence affects the well-being of the people who use it. Selected researchers receive direct funding, access to Anthropic's models, and technical support. They operate independently and are expected to publish their work as open-source evaluations that any developer across the industry can use. The company noted that AI systems are increasingly used for work, education, and problem-solving, while also serving as conversational partners and sources of emotional support. It said the industry still lacks standards for how models should respond when users seek companionship or turn to AI during a mental health crisis. Evaluating well-being is hard because the risks may only surface over the course of a longer interaction. A user in distress may not immediately disclose thoughts of self-harm, and information shared later can change how an earlier response should have been handled. Anthropic cited weight loss advice given to someone with a history of disordered eating as an example. It is inviting applications from clinicians, psychologists, and methodologists. Fourth, Chinese banks have begun issuing loans to AI companies based on their computing power and token usage. Caixin reports it is an attempt to find new ways of financing asset-light technology firms. State-owned lenders, including Bank of China and Agricultural Bank of China, have rolled out so-called token loans and computing power credit lines, typically offering several million yuan per borrower. Behind the move is a surge in AI adoption inside China. Daily token usage has jumped from 100 billion to more than 140 trillion over the past 2 years. For AI firms that hold no land or factories to pledge as collateral, the volume of tokens actually processed becomes the basis for credit. AI usage itself is starting to underwrite financial products. Fifth, IBM has released Granite 4.2, the latest version of its open enterprise model family, bringing native reasoning and agentic reinforcement learning to the lineup. The release spans 3 parameter sizes, 3 billion, 8 billion, and 30 billion. All are decoder-only dense transformers using grouped query attention with 8 kV heads, Swiglu MLPs, and RMS norm. Context length is 131,072 tokens, with pre-training extended out to 512,000 tokens. Every model emits chain-of-thought reasoning before answering, and the chat template exposes a thinking and non-thinking switch plus a low-effort mode. The agentic reinforcement learning covering software engineering, terminal automation, and web search is trained with GRPO and applied only to the 8 billion and 30 billion models. On benchmarks, SweBench verified scores 47.67 for the 8 billion model and 57.00 for the 30 billion. Terminal Bench 2.1 comes in at 20.56 and 29.24, MMLU Pro at 74.04 and 77.60, and AIM25 at 86.67 and 89.17. The models ship under Apache 2.0 with no commercial restrictions available through Hugging Face, Ollama, and LM Studio. That's all for this AI News Flash.